Welcome to the Smart Property Investment Show with your host, Phil Tarrant.
Good day, everyone. How you going? Thanks for joining us on the podcast today. I've got an investor in the studio who I've been looking forward to bringing back in. I missed him the first time around. He actually spoke with one of my colleagues on the show. I think I was on the holidays or somewhere or other. I couldn't record it, but I did listen to it, and even though the host was pretty mediocre, the guest actually seemed to know what he was doing. Sam Gordon, he's back. He's going to have a chat. And the last time he was on, it was recorded in May, but I think it came out sort of in July the 11th. Go and check it out. Touched on a couple of his properties. At that point in time, he only had 14 properties. He now has 18 properties. So it's literally, 3, 4, 5 months later, this guy's rocketing along. So back when we first spoke to Sam, a young gun property investor shares his top secrets. That was the headline. Don't know what it's going to be this time around, but it's probably something similar. Maybe it's got to be more about, how to grow with speed and not break the bank or have a heart attack. Maybe that's what it is. Sam, how you going, mate? You well?
Very well, Phil. Thank you very much, mate. Good to be back here.
It's good to have you here. So you weren't here that long ago. Did you enjoy the first experience?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
And was there anything particularly good about it?
What do you mean, bag the host out or something?
Probably.
No, he's a good bloke.
He's all right. He normally gives me a hard time, so I think it's...
He give you a bit of a scolding.
He should do, so it's appropriate to do likewise. But you had 14 properties then.
Yes.
And I was just reading the brief, and go and check it out on smartpropertyinvestment.com.au. So July the 11th, 2019. Sam shares how at the age of 29, he's built an impressive 14 property portfolio, what he looks for when purchasing a property, and the challenges he faced securing finance. He also reveals his ambitious plans for the future. Well, this is the future, Sam. The total value of his assets to date, what he looks for when purchasing a property, and why he believes there should be no bounds to building your portfolio. Well, you're definitely a testament to that. You purchased 4 properties in 4 months.
Yeah, thank you.
How are you doing that?
Just, mate, sourcing as good deals as I can, and always buying in below market. In markets that I can refinance equity back out of deals. That's kind of the main thing. And then I guess marrying that up with deals that I can manufacture equity in as well. So buying below market, but then forcing value on it as well as accumulating very high cash flow deals too. And that's kind of those 3 things is really has been the nuts and bolts of the strategy the whole way along. And I think it's foolproof, going down this path, because you need to continue manufacturing capital and you need to keep your cash flow strong to keep growing.
Now, 18 properties is a lot of properties.
It's a few,
and I don't really know that much about your portfolio. We'll get into that in a moment. But is that enough? Like, you done? Are you going to keep at it? What's happening?
I'll keep going.
Why? Like, you don't need any more. You can stop now. Well, how old are you now? 29 years old.
Yeah.
Get 3 or 4 property market cycles. Hang up your boots at 60 something, and you're going to have, I don't know how, what's the total value of your portfolio now, 18 properties?
With the last ones, the one that's going through at the moment, it tips it up at about, it's just over 5. I think it's just shy of 5.5 mil.
All right. So for our listeners who are sort of relatively new to property, if you've been in this game for a while, you probably know this quite well. There's this concept banded around that probably doubles in value every 8 to 12 years. And whether or not that's true, it depends, right? A lot of it's bullshit. It's a nice sort of headline figure that people use. And if you think about it, right, so it probably does value over 10 years. So you get a $5 million property portfolio. How much debt have you got on that right now?
It's running at about 3.5 mil.
Okay. All right. So you get a bit of equity in there, 1.5 on 5. So you're not redlining it, but some people say you're pushing pretty hard, right? But you think about it, right? You got $5 million worth of property today. Yeah. Another market cycle, that's 10 million. Yeah. Another market cycle, that's 20 million. Yeah. And another market cycle, that's $40 million, right? Yeah. So this is it. And when property investors sort of think about this, like, no, that's not the way it works. But, that's a big number if you don't do anything more, right? And you keep the same $3.5 million of debt.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
A lot of people would say you don't need any more, mate. That's you sorted, unless you like Ferraris and stuff.
I do like Ferraris.
I do?
Yeah.
What sort of car do you drive?
I got a Triton, 2017 model.
Okay.
Yeah, Triton,
so you're still trying to pretend to be a tradie or a...
Mate, I still do.
Get around.
A lot of work on my own job. So,
you do?
Yeah, I know you like the old sweat equity strategy, mate.
I do, mate. You got to do it. You got to get your hands dirty.
Exactly the same, mate.
Are you, I don't want to get into your personal life, but are you married with kids?
No,
okay,
I'm not.
So you can be selfish, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And this is...
Put a lot of time into it.
This is, it's a real, people talk about assets you have as a property investor, and you can do this, you can do your own work, or you can make money, you can do whatever. At the right time in your life, it's a good time to be a property investor when you can be really selfish,
Definitely.
right? And I think a lot of people overlook this particular idea sometimes where, if you're in your 20s or your 30s, you don't have a lot of the rigors of a more responsible life. So you can actually be really selfish and you can hustle hard to get stuff done.
Definitely.
So you obviously get an advantage of that. So 18 properties.
Yep.
So let's recap a little bit on that. I know you covered it last time you come onto the Smart Property Investment Show. What was your first property? Where was it?
First
when
property,
was it?
that was it was a 2-bedroom unit in Wollongong.
Okay.
So yeah, I bought that back when I was 19. So
Okay.
full 10 years ago now.
What job did you have back then?
I was in the family business.
Okay.
And we had a pellet mill. Like we used to manufacture stock feed.
Okay.
And yeah, so I kind of worked with the old boy in that, and I was getting paid a pretty small amount of money. I think I was clearing about $580 a week.
Okay. Living at home, no?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But I moved into that as my first place and kind of did a renovation on that. And that was kind of the first foray into it, I guess. I paid $275 for it.
Down in the Gong, whereabouts?
Down the Gong, straight behind the Crown Street Mall there on,
good spot.
Regent Street. Yeah. So it was, and they redeveloped the city centre there and put in all massive new shops, like literally directly behind the unit block there. So it was a good little investment.
Okay. And so you grew up around that way then?
I grew up in Southern Highlands.
Okay.
Yep, down south of Sydney. But yeah, I'm used to. I used to travel up into Sydney every day for school and whatnot. So so it was. I think for that I moved about 45 minutes away from home to move down to the Gong and move into it. But it was a good lifestyle choice. I'd say that much.
And how much you pay? Sorry,
it was $275.
$275,
Yep.
and you were living in it. So
Yes.
that's your first property.
Yes.
Okay. Have you still got that same property?
No, I sold that. I'd say I'm great, but I fluked the timing and I sold it right at the peak of the Sydney boom in mid 2017.
Okay.
I had bought a duplex site and I kind of needed the capital from that, and so I rolled it straight from the deal, straight from that. I almost doubled my money. I sold it for the $525.
Okay.
And rolled that straight into the duplex site, which I did very well out of that one.
So how far between, like, down the list of the 18 properties, this duplex site that you bought, where was that?
I think that would have been maybe 8 or 9. I think it was. Yeah.
All right. So there's a bit of gap between those properties. So it's sat there and you got the benefits of time and capital growth.
Yeah, and did the renovations.
So you bought that.
Yep.
And so you got a mortgage.
Yep.
90%.
Yeah,
80%?
I did 90% of that. Yeah, I went in
Okay.
with the old 10% deposit. Got
Yep.
myself in with that because it was
Back when it was easy to get those loans.
yeah.
All right. What happened after that?
So
Let's just bang through these because I know a lot of our listeners like to know how people do it. So that's probably number one.
Okay, yeah. So I banged that one out, did a renovation, redrew equity out of that, and I went and sourced land wholesale. So I was really networking with a lot of different agents and to really ascertain what was really good value for a block of dirt. And yeah, it was in the same sort of region down that Illawarra sort of area. Got a block of dirt back then. I think that was in 2012. I bought that, paid $133 for the land, built on that for it was about 200, pretty much flat. Did all the landscaping, everything like that myself, all the retaining walls, fencing, all that sort of stuff. I think it came in all up, it was about $355K. And that's where I kind of learnt about manufacturing equity because it revalued at $450K when it was finished.
So you bought a development site and you went and chose a builder and built a property on it, right? So you didn't buy an off the plan.
No.
So you did it all yourself, right?
Yeah, that block probably would have been worth about 180 grand. And when I picked that up, but the developer just couldn't shift it. And he had 6 blocks. That was his final stage. It was back when kind of after, we had that peaky sort of heady sort of times when those first home owner grants were going a bit crazy in 2010. And then the market kind of plateaued before it really picked up in Sydney again. And it was around that time where it really plateaued. It was really soft and there was a lot of land on the market down there and no one could really shift anything. So
whereabouts in Illawarra was it?
It was down kind of Albion Park sort of way. Like I don't want to say too much because I still kind of buy similar-ish sort of area. I'm back in there now buying.
So you're a buyer's agent now.
Yeah, I am.
So you're being cagey.
Yeah.
All right.
I won't give too much.
Well, I'm going to get some more out of you, but we're going to do that when we come back from a break. Back in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Here is Sam Gordon. We're running through his profile. He's going to tell me where his third property was, and he's going to be really specific about this. Whereabouts was it, Sam?
It was in the third one was in Adelaide.
Okay.
Yep.
In Adelaide.
Yep.
All right. And I'm conscious of time. And so what was that?
So that was I paid $155,000 for that one.
Yep.
And that one rented for $260 a week. That was a house.
Okay. So reasonable yield.
Yep. I think I was about just over 8% on that one.
Okay. Property number 4.
It was in the same suburb. This one had a little bit of development potential on it, so I could chop off the back and build on the back of that one. So I paid $175 for that one, and she rented for $270 a week.
Okay, reasonable yield again. Property number 5.
I went up to Brizzy this time.
Okay,
I was kind of out in that Western Growth corridor, and I paid $212 on that one.
Okay,
and that was my first big step into renovating. So that one was it was an ex-houso, and it was double brick. It had been beat up to the dumps, and I kind of went in and did a full reno on that. I finished up work on a Friday, drove all the way up there, picked up the keys first thing from Sydney all the way to Brizzy, picked up keys first thing Saturday morning, did 8 days of about 18 hours a day, just back to back, smacked this thing out. Left on the Sunday night, drove all the way back and started work on the Monday morning.
Whereabouts in Brisbane was it?
That was out Ipswich way.
Okay, out Ipswich way.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a big area. All right.
Can't give you too much, mate.
Number 6.
That was out in the same area. Funnily enough, that was within $500 of the other one's purchase price. That was $212.5.
Okay. Property number 7.
7 was a duplex site. So I sold down the unit, the initial unit.
Yep, that's right.
And I bought into that one.
Okay, and then you built on that, did you?
Yeah, I built on that one. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And did you? How much of this was happening simultaneously, or you just finish, build?
Back in those days, it was space. So I kind of one after another, but not kind of overlapping, not kind of as crazy as I go these days.
Okay, so duplex, all right.
Yeah. So that's 2 in there. So that's 7 and 8.
Okay, so 9.
9. I bought another 2 in Brizzy.
Okay, whereabouts in Brisbane? Come on.
I can't give you too much.
You come on the show, you got to tell us where it's at. That's what people want.
One was in Logan, another one in Brizzy. Sorry, another one in Ipswich Way.
Logan and Ipswich.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was 9 and 10, was it? Yeah. All right. Number 11.
Number 11 was that was a unit block.
Okay.
That was down in South Australia.
Okay. So a whole unit block.
SA. Yeah.
Okay. How many properties were in it?
4 units on that one.
So you count that as 4 or 1?
I count that as 4 because it was individually titled.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 11, 12, 13. And 14.
Yep.
Okay. So were they 2-bedders?
They're all 2. So 3 2-bedders in a line at the front, and then the back one was a 3-bed. This is where the real value was in this deal. Well, for one, the guy, it was a divorcee sale. He had to sell it, and I'd been kind of searching that area for a good unit block at the time. And these ones came on. They were I got contacted before they hit the market. They were slightly cheaper than what an entire block was in that area for the similar sort of product. But the back one was a 3-bed. It was almost the size of a house. It had a yard and it had a detached double garage on it as well. Okay. Plus it was already individually titled. And when I went to council, kind of ran the numbers on a few other deals, it was individually titled. These things was about 20K per unit because none of them were built with the fire rating straight to the roof. So you had to do the fire rating through to the roof, all the developer contributions and whatnot for it. They were about 20K each. So on that deal alone, when I pushed that one through, I then got them, because I bought them all in one line, I then got them refinanced out into separate loans. I was actually able to pull out more than my entire capital out of the deal. Sorry, I actually renovated them all as well and then was able to pull out. I think that deal actually paid me $5,000 per unit to own them at 80% LVR.
Okay. So you just dealt with a whole bunch of complicated terms.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm all right. It's okay. But let's break it down. So 4 units.
Yep.
3 2-bedders and 1 3-bedder, which was self-contained.
Yeah.
So 4 blocks, all individually. So they're already individually titled, but not strata.
No, not strata.
All owned by one person.
Yes.
Or one.
So in South Australia, they don't strata title. They community title.
Yep.
So they're all on their own individual title, but I bought them in a line.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you control the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Which suburb was it in?
Regional SA. I can't give away this one because this is the market that I'm very active in, and I get a lot of these for clients. So
how many kilometres from the Adelaide CBD is it?
100.
100. Yeah. Okay. Which direction?
Come on, Phil. Come on, man. Let me keep something.
So how much did you pay? How much did you pay for the lot?
I paid $364 for it.
For the whole
so 91K per unit.
Yeah. Okay, 91K per unit.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I got them revaled back post-reno. So I renoed them for $8,000 each.
Yep.
That's a funny story in itself. But yeah, 8K reno per unit. I got them revaled back at $140 per unit.
Okay.
And then, so what I was able to do in that scenario was I was able to refinance it back out at an 80% lend on the 140.
Yeah.
And pull out all that initial capital plus extra.
Your reno money.
Yeah, that's it, plus extra. And then so that's essentially how it paid me on the way through.
That's cool. And you still own them all. And what are you renting them at?
They're all rented at $190 a week.
Okay. And the one at the back? Is that?
The one at the back is $220 on that one as well. So
okay.
Overall, it's about 10%. 10%.
So about eight, just over $800.
Yeah.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Okay. So that was up to 14, was it? So and that's when you left off the last time you were here, was chatting about that particular.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So what's happened for the last 3 or 4 months?
So, I've been very active as a buyer's agent. So I'm out there buying a lot of property and you're getting access to a heap of deals, and sometimes it's funny, you get deals and you don't have the clients there ready to buy them, and I'm not one to let a good deal go to waste. So there's been times where I just had to kind of buy this thing myself, and
you poor thing.
Oh mate, I feel very sad saying it, but no, I love it. So so I've picked up a few more things on my way through, and so it's been good. But so since then...
Yeah, let's talk 15, 16, 17 and 18.
Yeah, so 15...
So you've only sold one property, the first property you've ever bought as an owner-occupier. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 15.
Yeah, 15. So for the next 2, I bought 2 more in Ipswich and 1 more in Logan.
Okay. Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the most recent purchase?
I bought a 5-unit block in that same town, but it is not yet individually titled.
Okay, so you count that as 1.
Yes.
So there's 5 more properties.
Yeah.
So really got 23 properties. 23 doors that you're generating.
Yeah, I mean, once it's chopped down.
So okay, that's interesting. So the most recent purchase, how many units?
5 units.
5 units, all 2-bedders?
They're all 2-bedders,
yeah,
and they're in a better location of town.
Okay.
So they will get valued at more.
And this is in Ipswich?
No. This is in the same town that I bought the other unit block.
Okay, which is 100 odd kilometres from Adelaide.
It's somewhere.
Okay.
It's a big population. It's very good employment population, all that sort of stuff in the area. Like I'm very confident, kind of quite bullish on the area. And so, you can accumulate and hold that sort of stock and get quite a good return on it.
How much did you pay for the 5?
The 5, 440. So it's 88K a unit.
Okay. Reasonably well priced. And Renault stuff, you got to Renault and do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go down and smack out another Renault on that too.
So what do you do? Just go down there for a period of time and just project manage and
mate.
Get your hands dirty.
Yeah,
it's a lot to do, like five apartments.
It's kind of funny. Like I've done a few units now, so much so that I kind of know. Like what I'll do is I'll probably do it in 2 trips because I'm quite busy with work now as well. But I could do 5 units in 2 weeks.
Okay,
I'd break them up between 2 weeks. Like a week per one.
Yeah.
I go down the first one. I'll do 2. This is a funny story. So. one of the dudes when I was down there, the building and pest inspector, he was around the corner doing a job for a client of mine, a purchase that I'd had, and that was going through. And he said to me, "Oh, where are you staying for the reno?" He goes, "Oh, you staying? Which hotel?" I go, "Oh no, I'm just gonna pop up an air mattress and just kind of sleep, knock it out, and do the whole thing." He goes, "Mate, you're not sleeping on the air mattress." I go, "No, that's all right." And he goes, "Oh, look, just come over for dinner later, and we'll see if we can sort something out." So I go over for dinner later, and I walk in, and the wife's like, "Who the hell is this bloke?" Like she just starts like ripping into the husband, and he's like, "Oh, it's all right, just Sam." And so I had dinner with them, and then they ended up putting me up in this is on the initial 4 that I did down there, and they ended up putting me up in the granny flat out the back.
That's all right.
And so that was pretty cool, and just kind of crashed at their place for.
So this guy's just dragged home some random bloke.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was.
So you got your own granny flat down there now for
essentially whenever I want to. So
that's funny. You make your own luck, right? It's pretty good. So this reno is not done yet. You're doing it.
Oh yeah, I have not done that yet.
Okay.
So
is it if exchange? Have you settled?
Yeah, it's unconditional.
Okay.
So it settles in. I think it's mid-October. This one settles.
Okay, and you'll rock it down there and get going. So in terms of doing renos yourself, like you can't do plumbing, electrical, but you'll pretty much do anything else, will you?
Yeah. Oh, mate, even the plumbing, I kind of have a crack at most things.
Yeah.
Got a few stories about things you shouldn't bother doing, like don't change the toilet yourself. Just pay someone to do that.
And you've got to make sure you've got a duty of care as a landlord as well to make sure that any work done is appropriate as well. Like plumbing, you could do some of the roughing in and all that yourself. That's pretty easy.
Changing your taps, connecting up your dishwashers and all those sort of things that plumbers will sting you for quite heavily. But those sort of things that you can have a crack at and taking care of yourself, most of the time I'll have a crack at doing them. But, smashing out a kitchen and putting a new one in, even your painting and stuff like that. Like if you're willing to put the hours in to get it done, you can smack them at yourself and save. Like on those, I had them priced up before I was going to go down and do them. And I think I saved about $5,000 per unit just going down and doing it myself. And all I do is I hire a handyman, I pay him by the hour, and I'm there just doing it with him the whole time. And I just set a cracking pace and just smash through as much as I can. And that's how essentially I have built a fair bit of equity in the portfolio by doing that side of things.
And do you do the same thing to every apartment? Like identical, same paint, same tiles, same
kitchens,
same everything.
Yeah. I've got the same.
How do you get the kitchen sort of? Is it just off the shelf? You go down to Bunnings, buy a kitchen, put it in, or you got to get it tailor made a bit?
No, there's a place that I use. They kind of just have a certain set of flat packs. 2-bedroom units. They pretty much only make them in a certain kind of configuration, so it's not too hard to get a standard kind of flat pack that you can kind of mold to just about any unit. So that these guys have about 5 different kind of designs you can choose from to smack them in there.
Okay, and you stick it together yourself, fit it in yourself.
Yeah. That's the thing. You kind of get there with a handyman. You're just kind of smacking out of these cabinets, and you think about a 2-bedroom unit, especially like these sorts of things. They're not, you don't have to put in a beautiful big kitchen or anything like that. Just a nice kind of sized.
And you use the same handyman at this place each time?
Yeah.
Get to know each other, work. How much do you pay a handyman now?
He's only about $30 an hour or something. Okay. Yeah, he's not too bad.
So they just sort of can do anything as well?
Yeah. And I guess that's the thing. When you're there working with him, he's going to keep working with you at the same kind of pace. He can't he can't jump on his phone for an hour or bugger off down to the KFC.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, that's it.
How many schooners you drink every night after work, after a hard day's yakka?
Do I?
Yeah. It's a mandatory 5 or 6.
Nah, I don't know. I'm a rum man. I like the rum.
Oh, yeah?
I'll smack the rums, but I save them for the weekend.
Yeah, that's good. I want to have a chat about financing. We're going to do that when we come back from this break. Back in a moment. G'day everyone, we're running through Sam Gordon's portfolio and we're at his most recent purchase, which is just about to settle. It's a block of 5 units somewhere 100 kilometres from Adelaide, and he's not really telling us where they are, but get your, what do you call your little compass thing out, you'll probably work out. Whereas a lot's happening down that way anyway at the moment around Adelaide. it's very sort of mixed and diverse. It's never going to set the world on fire, Adelaide, but it's always been a good, strong, steady performer. If you buy well, and just on that basis, how do you what's your sort of guiding strategy for making sure you're buying well? You said that this is the second block of units you've bought in the same area. So, how do you know they're good?
Typically with these sort of plays, so the way I run my strategy, I run by something I call it the Trident formula. And essentially what we do is we build kind of a foundation portfolio with bread and butter properties, those ones that I kind of started out with.
Your Logans and your, Ipswich type things.
Buy and below market in a market that you believe is prime for growth with strong cash flows, right? They take care of themselves. They sit there in portfolio ticking over. When that market has growth, you make profit, right? But you build a foundation of them. And then you move on to accelerated strategies, which is the Trident for me, right? So then what I'll do is I'll go down the Trident, essentially 3 prongs, right? 3 spearheads. The first one is manufactured equity. The second one is high cash flow. And then the third one is another foundation property. So you're always adding another 1 or 2 in the portfolio every time you go through the Trident. So the manufactured equity is to make sure you don't run out of capital. Because the biggest thing you got to consider when you're building a portfolio is what are you going to run out of next? Are you going to run out of cash flow? Or you're going to run out of capital and equity to keep moving the portfolio. Because if you run out of one or the other, you're stopped, you're dead. So the idea is you build the foundation and then you keep building whichever one of those you need next in the portfolio. So then you can that's the way you can honestly just keep growing this thing and keep moving it forward and not get stuck.
So you're saying that you pull 3 properties together, you have a high capital growth one, you have a high yielding one, then you have a sort of accelerator or something with a bit of like a duplex type thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And is this something you've just worked out now when you look back at how you've gone about building your portfolio, or did you do that with that strategy in place?
Yeah, I kind of stumbled across it, I guess, to start with. I realized on that second deal when I made about 100 grand off a, a 350,000 mini development, I realized that's where there was quite a bit of money. And so the idea is to kind of chuck deals like that in to keep replenishing the capital, and you can keep moving forward. And then from that one, then I went to Adelaide and I was buying high cash flow deals. And like even those, they're not hugely cash flow positive, but like they're kind of $30 to $40 a week. You chuck 6 of them in your portfolio, that's an extra $200 a week you got coming in.
Yeah.
That's allows you to go and service another manufactured equity deal. And I guess, the more it kind of kept moving like that, the more it kind of formulated in my mind, this is what I need to move to next. I was never really I didn't really have a mentor or anything like that. I just kind of stumbled across it, reading across different people and the strategies they were using, and then just kind of implemented each one, and then realized you could kind of, work out a formula by continually adding different things.
Have you managed to maintain getting finance through this whole time? So what have you, now you set up a buyer's agent business, we'll chat about that some other time, but so what job did you have during this? So you're knocking out pellets down with the old man still,
seriously.
So that's what you've been doing the whole time?
Yeah. So I played soccer semi-professionally as well. So that was quite good money on the side to kind of, and I worked bars as well. I kind of always supplemented my income however I could, but I got paid. Mate, I'll tell you, I was never a massively paid person. And I think realistically, that's probably what drove me to needing to do different strategies, because otherwise you get stuck. Like if you're not making a big income, you get stuck pretty quick. So
aren't you supposed to go into the family business? is that a choice that you have to make, or don't talk about it? We haven't covered it off here, right?
No, it was offered to me, but property is where my passion is.
Yeah.
And I had an experience when I was a bit younger that kind of really solidified for me that I did want to become a buyer's agent. I got burnt myself.
Okay.
I kind of went out and trusted someone that I thought would do a really good job by me. And I think, they were my idol growing up. I looked at them and that's, they're who I wanted to be. And then I went and engaged them as a buyer's agent and got burnt 10 grand.
Okay.
Because essentially I went in with my portfolio of 7 properties and I was bagged out that it was a terrible portfolio.
Okay.
And convinced that they could do a lot better for me. And 6 months after signing up, I ended up telling them to shove it because they couldn't bring me anything that was kind of as high quality as what I was already sourcing for myself. Okay. And I guess it was that experience that really made me want to do the right thing by people and go out and do, not do to someone else what had been done to me, to look after people and do the right thing. And
So there was only one property you ever were going to use the buyer's agents for. Did you use buyer's agents for any of this other stuff, or you've done it all yourself?
I've done it all myself.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of getting finance, you're working hard, probably putting in big hours in a manufacturing business, really. Is what it is. And did you struggle getting finance at all? Were the bank happy to keep lending you money?
I got stuck in 2015 with the APRA changes. I did get stuck there, and that's when I got told you're going to have to kind of change up a little bit what you're doing here.
Yeah.
And that was when, I think that was 2015 after I'd bought the 2 in Adelaide. And I was kind of gearing up and I was like, how do I go here? And so I bought the 2 up in Ipswich, and they were positive cash flow, but not enough to really make enough of a difference. And that's when they said, you need to look at possibly selling something down here. I was living in that second one that I bought, the one that I did essentially the wholesale buy and build there. Yeah. So I decided instead to sell the first one. And when I sold the first one, they said to me, look, whatever you do next, this is when I actually stumbled across a really, really good mortgage broker. And they said to me, look, if you don't want to get stuck, you have to do something here that's going to be different from what you've done before. They didn't know what to do. They're a really good mortgage broker. They wanted buyers. They didn't want a property strategist. They said, look, you're going to have to figure out something here. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck, because they knew what I wanted to achieve. And that's where I came up with, well, when I did the duplex, like that deal, I think it cost me all up about $680. It got revalued just after it had been finished construction for about $950.
Okay.
I made some pretty decent money off that, and positive cash flow was about $12,000 a year.
Yeah.
And so I was able to pull all my capital back out of the deal after I revalued it, and was able to pull that out and still had positive cash flow. So that kind of makes up the core of the different things I look at, like that, the unit block I bought. Some people, there are people that are against buying regionally, and you can see, maybe a third of the portfolio is regional. But it's got 10% gross rental return, and I was able to pull all my capital plus extra back out. Why not add something like that to the portfolio? You don't have to build the whole portfolio. The foundations are there with 10 properties in a metro location, worth between $200,000 and $300,000. So that's just the cash flow deals that I needed to add to the portfolio. And I was able to pull the cash back out to put them into other deals anyway.
Are you tapped out now? Like, you set up a business, buyer's agent, but it doesn't matter. Like all self-employed people for the first year or so of starting a business, you pretty much tapped out. Banks don't really like to lend you money until you can show them a nice, healthy balance sheet and a profit and loss statement.
That's right.
How's it going? So is that it for you now? You concentrating on...
To tell you the truth...
Or you're cash buyer now, eh?
No, definitely not cash buyer. But no, what I'm looking at doing, they look differently with commercial. And that's how I got this unit block, because it's 5. I could push it through a commercial finance. And because I had a fair bit of capital in the deal, this is where I've had to kind of pillage the portfolio a little bit with the equity. I had to redraw a fair bit of equity out of the portfolio, because with commercial lending, if you've got the equity, if you've got the cash to put it in, and you can find a deal that is positive cash flow enough, like that unit block, they are willing to throw the cash at you. Okay. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to chop this one up just yet, this unit block. That's why I'm kind of saying this is my 18th. So like I said to Alex last time I was in here, I kind of wanted to round out before I turn 30. So at 29, I want to have 20 by 29. So I'm thinking I've still got a little bit of capital there that I had pulled out before I quit the day job. Yeah. And what I'm thinking is I would like to maybe purchase 2 more high yielding commercial properties before I pull the pin.
Where are you going to end up with all this? Like, you're just buying for buying's sake because you'll be okay, or you got some grand scheme to be a property bazillionaire?
I love real estate. I don't think, I have quite lofty goals. But I'm also...
Do you share your goals? You keep your goals quite close?
I keep my goals quite close.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I don't think I'll be stopping anytime soon. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm upskilling a lot on the commercial side of things at the moment. Okay. And so what I want to do is I want to purchase my 2 more commercials, and then just purely focus on my clients. And that is what I have been doing for since I started the business. But I just want to keep focusing on the clients and build their portfolio. So by the time, as you say, as a, starting up small business owner, once you start out, you need kind of essentially 2 years worth of statements, right? Yeah. To be able to borrow again. So what I want to do is just run my business and work it, do absolutely as best as I can for my clients, so they keep coming back and I can keep building the business so it looks, so it's super profitable and I have that really solid client base, and then I can, probably expand it.
It gives you options and choice, right? If you do the right. You live in Sydney? Is that
Wollongong.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You still live with your parents?
No.
Okay.
I haven't lived with them since I was 19.
And are you living well, or are you sort of eating Maggi 2-minute noodles and baked beans and living on the poverty line?
No. I live pretty well.
So you're not compromising being a young...
That portfolio it's just shy of 60 grand a year positive.
It puts in your back pocket?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
The yields on those things are pretty strong.
And how do you hold all these properties? Just in your personal name, or what sort of structure?
Pretty much everything for the last definitely last 15 have been all in trusts and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you got much in New South Wales in trust? Because if you do, you get hammered on land tax, right?
So like at the moment, because I sold the Wollongong unit, and then the other, like the duplex and the other house that I've got down there as well, they are, the other house is still my own home as well. Okay. But the duplex is in my own name. That was the last one that I purchased before I turned to trusts.
Yeah. And who sort of helps you on that sort of stuff? Have you got a good accountant?
I've got a really good accountant.
Yeah. And they sort of do give you recommendation on trust. Have you got multiple trusts or just one trust?
Yeah, I got multiple trusts.
Okay. Yeah. Which is, if you go down a path of building a portfolio this size, structure really becomes important, and if you're buying up in as I mentioned before, and if you buy in a trust in New South Wales, you get no land tax breaks. You pay land tax on the very first dollar if it sits within a trust. And we'll look at our portfolio on Smart Properties portfolio. We get hammered on land tax. But in Queensland, for example, you don't pay land tax up until a particular point in a trust, and then you can just set up a new trust and start again, right? So that you really need good advice when it comes to this sort of stuff. Otherwise,
it's very important.
That 60 grand of positive cash flow can get eroded away really quickly, right?
Very quickly.
Really quickly. But that's cool. Well, thanks for coming in, Sam.
Yeah, no
Enjoy
problem.
the chat, mate.
Thank you very much, mate.
So when you come in here next time, say it's a year's time.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell me?
Well, I definitely hope I've hit my 20.
It's like this time next year, isn't it? With what's that guy's name? Carl Stefanovi. He's got that show on TV. Yeah, this time next year. I'm going to arrive in my Ferrari.
No, I'm not too sure. I want to hit my I'll hit my 20 by the end of this year.
Okay.
Just to pick up those 2 commercials on the side. But man, I'm hoping I've built my business to a really healthy state, got a lot of clients, I'm helping a lot of people. That's honestly my passion, mate. I could I literally start work at 7 in the morning every morning after a gym, and then I'll work all the way through to 10 p.m. every night. I love it. Like I absolutely love meeting with people and strategizing with them and helping people realize what they can do. And that's honestly, mate, that's what I love doing. So I'm hoping by the time I come in next year, that's where I'm at. I've grown into a really healthy position and hopefully I'm swinging.
Cool, mate. Keep plugging away. It's good to hear. And, I'll keep an eye on what you're up to and how you're doing it. And, it's good to see, I've got all the time in the world for people out there having a crack. So, mate, keep at it. Really good.
Phil, thanks very much, mate. Appreciate being here.
Really good. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Remember, and Sam's going to do this for me. He hasn't left a review yet on the Smart Property Investment Show. Have you? No, you haven't.
No. I subscribe. I haven't. Sorry.
Come on.
Sorry, mate.
So he's going to leave a review, and I get asked like how our listeners can help out, and that's one way you can really do it. Just leave a review on iTunes. The guys and girls here at the Smart Property Investment Show get a real kick out of it. There's a big team here working away behind the scenes I get all the glory standing here talking, but they do all the heavy lifting and the hard work. So if you could do that, that'd be really, really good. Follow Sam's lead. I'm sure he's going to give a 5-star review as well.
Matt, you're something, mate. It'll be a 5-star. It's a good show, mate.
That's cool. And we love what we're doing. We'll keep doing it. And if you've got any feedback or any way which you think that we can improve what we're doing, you can email the team here, editor@smartpropertyinvestment.com.au. We always like to tweak things and keep pushing ahead. We're going to do a big Q&A episode soon as well. So send your questions in, ask anything, and I'll make sure I'll get someone in to have a chat about that and answer those questions. So that's editor@smartpropertyinvestment.com.au. If you just want to make sure you're staying abreast of everything that's happening in property and property investment right across Australia, just smartpropertyinvestment.com.au, or you can subscribe there. Social media as well, just search Smart Property HQ. That's lots of things to remember. But thanks, Sam. I'll see you next time, and look forward to seeing or hearing or being in your ears next time around on the Smart Property Investment Show. Until then, bye-bye.
The information featured in this podcast is general in nature and does not take into consideration your financial situation or individual needs and should not be relied upon. Before making any investment, insurance, tax, property, or financial planning decision, you should consult a licensed professional who can advise whether your decision is appropriate for you. Guests appearing on this podcast may have a commercial relationship with the companies mentioned.